This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium out and about. This Infinium out and about is entitled, Don't Let Their Chips Get You Down. Now, my brothers, I'm here again in the Lock Park, which is located in Chesapeake, Virginia. And it is a sunny, beautiful, early spring day, a little bit cool, but nevertheless, my brothers, it is a great day to be alive and to be a MGTOW man. Now, my brothers, I want to talk to you about not letting their chips get you down. And my brothers, what I am talking about is the condition which was referred to in the second Batman movie about the Joker, wherein the Joker says, when the chips are down, the ordinary citizens, the normies, they will begin to eat each other. And my brothers, how that relates to us, how the condition of the eating of each other refers to us, relates to us, is because of, again, what is happening to women, what is occurring within the feminist plantation state, and how feminism itself is a total and abject failure overall. Now, we all know as MGTOW men, because of our pathway to freedom, that it is having a direct effect upon feminism, feminists, the feminist plantation state. We all know that. I can go into line item after line item after line item as to how much we MGTOW men are having an effect upon feminism. It is not only we MGTOW men, it is that component of men who are red pilling and just walking away from women in general. But it is, of course, the overriding factor of men going MGTOW and the effect that it is having upon feminism and the feminist plantation state. Now, we all know that the aforementioned means the drastically lowered amount of slaves that are available to the feminist plantation state, which is AKA we men in particular who are going MGTOW. We know that because of these things, we are being persecuted and we are being told that we are crazy for allowing this type of condition to occur where women do not have slaves anymore. We know about these things. But my brothers, the other aspect of it is what will happen to women directly because of what we are doing as MGTOW men. And my brothers, the component of what we must do, even in the face of what I believe is going to get drastically worse as time goes along, what we must do, nevertheless, in terms of staying free, in terms of keeping on the MGTOW pathway, and in terms of ensuring that our freedom itself is secure in every way possible. Now, getting back to the eating condition which I was referring to in terms of the Batman movie. Now, this morning, I was watching a video which was from a news station in New York. And in the video, a woman with her child, and I figured that she is a single mother because there was no mention of a man being involved, no mention of a husband, boyfriend, whatever. It was just this woman and her child in an apartment. Another woman in the apartment building comes and starts beating on her door with a hammer and violently attacking her door, spitting on the door, this type of thing. So when the police were called, of course, the woman who probably has some psychological issues and everything, she's hauled away to prison, charged with being belligerent and attacking this woman, this and that, whatever. But the central key to this whole situation is both of these women were in a apartment building which is controlled by the city of New York. And there are certain standards by which tenants in this apartment building must abide by because they will get kicked out of. And so what happened to the woman who was attacked was this. Because of her child being a certain age, she got kicked out of her apartment rather than the city taking care of what she needed in terms of fixing her door, ensuring that, everything was taken care of. She got kicked out of her apartment because of her not abiding by the standards by which she was supposed to be in that apartment. So again, her child was of a certain age. The city came back and said that she would have to get out of that apartment, and they would try to find her another apartment, but nevertheless, she has to get out of that apartment because of what happened. And so, my brothers, what I'm talking about is this. There's a condition which is happening because of the reduced number of slaves, aka we MGTOW men, which is causing the targeting of men, the pulling in of men into women's conditions to be less likely. And so therefore, when there are no men around or few men around, women are targeting each other, and they are beginning to attack each other. And see, that is the layer and the component of what happened to this woman who is alone in her apartment without a man, with her young child, who got attacked by another woman who targeted her, who came after her out of the blue, so to speak. That is what's happening. Women are beginning to attack each other, in some cases tear each other apart in every possible way because of, again, the reduced number of men who they can target. My brothers, this situation, this eating of each other is going to get worse. And as I have stated in other bits of my content, it is based upon hypocrisy. Because again, you will note that if men are involved with women at this time, they will be the fall guys for what happens. And women will walk scot-free whenever a situation occurs, where there's a fight, where there's a type of turmoil. Again, if a man was involved with that situation, the likelihood of that man going to jail and the other woman not being charged or getting a PPAS sentence is very high. But you extract the man out of that situation, and then you see what can happen. They attack each other. They will do these things. Now, the other thing you see in this is, of course, the hypocrisy of what is happening. For instance, the other day, I noticed that there was a lot of turmoil about these women wearing miniskirts to Disney World. And I noticed that a lot of women, of course, there were men who spoke out about these things, but there was a majority of women criticizing and attacking these women because of what they were doing, which what they were doing was immoral. It was wrong because Disney World is supposed to be a park for young people, young children. And here these women were with these mini skirts on, which were showing great parts of their behinds at this park. And as far as I know, they were not dress coded by the park officials. They were allowed to do these things with impunity. But the thing that I noticed was the great hypocrisy of what happened. And that was, again, the women who had come out against these women who were attacking them. Not because they were wrong. Yes, they were wrong. But my brothers, the factor here is that this is 2025. Had this occurred in 2024, there would be no mention of these women by the women who attacked them. And the men who are now criticizing these women and who these women are quote-unquote joining arms with in hypocrisy in terms of attacking these women who did this deed at Disney World, again, it is being done in hypocrisy. Because last year, had this occurred, there would be outrage at the men who condemned these women for doing these things. And that outrage would come from the women who are now attacking these women who did this deed at Disney World. And so what has happened between 2024 and 2025? Again, the great shifting, the great pulling away from DEI, wokeness. Feminism itself has taken a great loss because of these things. And so when you combine that with job losses, things going away, that women had perks being taken away from them, the numbers of women who are now homeless. I see homeless women around town as I go about my daily business every day, my brothers. I see these things. And my brothers, again, all of that is combining to what is happening. The women that are condemning these women are now doing so because they are hurting. They need we men to understand that they are with us. But my brothers, that is not true. They are not with us, and they have never been with us. And so, again, you have this eating condition that is going on. Women turning on each other. Women condemning each other for things that formerly they would praise them. They would say that these women are brave, young, beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But now it is, I'm not like them. I condemn them. You see these things happening. And my brothers, what this is all doing is creating a condition where the women who are involved with the eating condition are saying to we men that we need to intervene. We need to straighten these things up. We need to take care of these things. We need to get back involved with women. We need to do these things. And my brothers, the chips are down for women, but it does not mean that the chips have to be down for you. And what I'm saying is that you should not take on the responsibility of a woman's chips being down and making her chips, her downsided chips, your downsided chips. My brothers, again, this is a time where you have to take care of you. You have done what you could to do right by women. My brothers, put it this way. Have you not done in the past what you could do for women? Have you not wasted your time, so to speak, by doing things for women? You got married to them in certain cases. You got friend zoned. You were a handkerchief to them. You became a man who simped for them. We all know in our hearts that we did these things. And my brothers, the chips are down condition which women are facing, not only do they have to face that alone, but my brothers, you have to understand that they are in a condition where they cannot be helped. The majority of them cannot be helped, my brothers. That's how bad it is. And my brothers, you must look at the component of lack of accountability in all of this. Again, there was warning from we men that this condition would occur. There was warning that the things that women were doing would result in failure, would result in collapse, my brothers. We warned them. We told them what would happen. But yet we were rejected by women overall. We were rejected by the women in our families. We were in some cases put into jail, told to STFU. All these things, despicable things, happened to us. And now, my brothers, again, this condition has occurred as we warned women would occur, that men would walk away and women would be left to themselves. And when women are left to themselves, they will begin to target each other. My brothers, what I'm saying to you is, again, to consider this type of condition. Consider what is happening and consider how it affects your walk along the MGTOW pathway. My brothers, it is not worth it. And I would say to you quite frankly that you, we as MGTOW men are facing a condition where the women around us, the majority of them, cannot be saved or helped because of what is going on. Consider again, the majority of women are walking around with STDs. Some of those STDs are incurable. The majority of those women have high body counts. The likelihood of finding a virgin is little to none. The majority of these women have high debts in every way possible. Student loan debts, credit card debts, auto loans. A majority of these women are likely involved with illegal types of things where they have gotten loans, where they've gotten money in an illegal way. For instance, like the PPP loan situation. All of that is getting worse. The perks from the Feminist Plantation State are being taken away. Again, this woman who was with her child in a subsidized apartment building was kicked out of her apartment with some hope of getting another apartment, but she has to go on a waiting list. She has to be approved for these things, go through an application, I suspect. But again, the perks that women had are gone. The easy money jobs are gone. All of these things are gone. You look around and you see video after video of women complaining about men not going to nightclubs. The nightclubs are shutting down. I know in my country, in the USA, they are shutting down. All of these things are happening. You see the dating matchups. I was looking at some videos the other day of a dating meetup or matchup where the women were fighting over the very few men who came to that matchup. That is what's happening, my brothers. You have all of these conditions going on. You have these things happening, my brothers, where women are in a condition where they are taking heavy losses in every way possible. Feminism itself is taking heavy hits in every way possible. The feminist plantation state is taking heavy hits in every way possible. You have this condition where women will begin to eat each other. And my brothers, I would warn you to stay out of it, to stay away from it. Don't let that pulling on your heart fool you, because again, it is not worth it, my brothers. Look at it this way. What is the condition that brought you to the place that you determined that you have to be a MGTOW man? I know for myself, it was the determination that it was not worth it to be a slave, and that the woman involved in my life didn't want me to be a free man. They didn't want me to be a leader, a man who, if they married, they would be in submission to. They wanted me to be a slave. And even though this is going on some 20 years ago, my brothers, I saw at that time that it was not worth it. It was not worth it. And my brothers, the only thing that I can do was to find out who I truly am supposed to be, and that is a free man. And my brothers, the men in our community, the MGTOW community, I would say that that determination is the same for every man in this community, regardless of our skin color, regardless of what state we live in, or where we live in the world, that the determination that I will be free from this stuff. That's what I'm talking about. My brothers, what is happening is, again, because of the desperation, because of the eating of each other, is, of course, the fallacy that you as a free man must give up your freedom to correct the condition, to intervene in the eating situation, to do all of these things. And my brothers, that is a fallacy. That is a falsehood. And that is something that you should not do. Because again, women have had time after time after time to turn this thing around. They made the choice to not listen to us. And they made the further choice to persecute us. And furthermore, my brothers, those women who are now coming out and saying that they were on our side, they were not on our side, because again, their voices were not heard when we were stating that we are being persecuted, when we were saying that we need to be free in order to escape this persecution. They did not stand with us. And those ones that said that they did not speak for us. And again, if you look at what was actually done, the speaking out that was done by women like Pearly Things, Sarah Dawn Moore, was hypocritical, because it was not done for the benefit of we men. It was done for the benefit of making money off of our backs. That's what happened. And so all of that now is being taken away from them. And you're seeing again constant hitting upon we MGTOW men that we have no right to be MGTOW because of these things. We have to go into the dating clubs. We have to go to the nightclubs. We have to take them out to eat. We have to do these things. We have to put up with the standards of these things. And that if we do not do so, we are wrong, my brothers. That's what we're being told, my brothers. But my brothers, again, the nature of what we are being told is a fallacy. We have every right to be free. We have every right to go our own way. We have every right to do so, regardless of what feminism says, the feminist plantation state says. We have the right to live free. And so, my brothers, what I'm saying to you in this regard is you will see, in my opinion, this condition of eating each other get worse. You will see it in your families. You will see it with women in general. You will see these things, my brothers. And I will say to you, do not look back at this stuff. Ignore the reach back that you will get and continue forward on your pathway to freedom, my brothers. Because again, the nature of hypocrisy surrounding these things is that these women do not want to come to accountability. And it is the accountability, the taking of accountability, which is the foundation of why we should not help them, which is lacking, my brothers. Because again, if you get involved with what is going on, you will face the same BS that you have faced before and what drove you to becoming a MGTOW in the first place. That's what you will face. So again, it is a total waste of your time. And so, my brothers, what I'm saying to you may seem harsh, may seem vindictive in some matters, but my brothers, it is the reality of what has happened, what has occurred. And that is, again, you must ignore the condition of women eating each other even when they cry out to you for help. And you must continue along the MGTOW pathway and disregard what is going on with women. Because again, the foundation, the infrastructure of the feminist plantation state is still there. And it will exist for a long time. And it will take time for that infrastructure. And I'm talking about decades maybe, for that infrastructure to be fully pulled down. And so what that means, my brothers, again, the condition where you can be falsely accused of something, anything and everything still exists, where you, again, can be falsely accused of anything and everything, and you wind up having an exclusive stay in the Motel 50. You wind up losing what you have. You wind up with your life being destroyed, my brothers. What I'm saying to you again, even though this condition of women eating each other, which will get worse, exists, the condition also exists where you can wind up in the Motel 50, wind up deleted, wind up in a condition where you are put into a psych ward against your will. All of these things still exist. And so therefore, my brothers, that is the danger. And that is why you must ignore these things and stay true to your course, which is saving your life, is saving my life. It is saving the lives of men who are MGTOW men in every way possible, my brothers. That's why. Again, my brothers, it is going to get worse. The persecution upon us is going to get worse. The calls upon us to come back, that you have no need to be a MGTOW man, that's going to get worse, my brothers. But nevertheless, my brothers, the MGTOW philosophy is a lifesaver. And consider that incomprehensible nature of what is saving your life, what is freeing you, my brothers. I can cite for myself, I would not be out here in the park enjoying this wonderful early spring day had I not made that decision some 20-something years ago to become a MGTOW, to walk away. I would not be exploring certain things. I would be a slave. I would be somebody who was probably divorce raped and living, quote unquote, with nothing less than a pot to piss in. That's what would have happened to me, my brothers. And my brothers, what you're doing is, again, either rebuilding or building upon the sure foundation of your freedom as a MGTOW man. That's why you must keep going. That's why you must turn your backs to the women who are eating each other. Because, my brothers, you have no choice. You have no choice in what is going on. And the only option you have is to remain on the pathway that saves your life in every way possible. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium out and about. My MGTOW brothers, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, And remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.